User defaults seems to be simple, but it's not. So in this tutorial, I will show you everything you need to know about user defaults in UIKIT and SWIFTUI. So check out the chapters down below. Alex here from Rebeloper.com. Open up Xcode, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. User defaults. Now, this will not be your regular user defaults tutorial. We will cover a lot. We will take a look at UIKIT and SWIFTUI, and we are going to take a look at the default values, like all the set integer, set boolean, and we are going to talk about codables, and finally we are going to talk about app groups. How can you, as an app developer, share user defaults between your apps? And we are going to take a look at an extension, an iMessage extension to be more precise. So let's just dive right into it. And before we do that, let me just remind you that here we have Dev Factory, Rebeloper.com/mentoring. Go ahead and check it out. I will help you build out your code. Okay, so what we are going to do is select Xcode and let's create a brand new project. We are going to start from scratch. Let me just resize this real quick so we can see that. By the way, take a look at the chapters down below in the timeline so you can skip to your favorite part. So the first one will be a UIKIT app. So let's name this user defaults. So user defaults UIKIT. And the interface should be storyboards and lifecycle, of course, UIKIT app delegate. So let's click on next here. And let's just drop it right over here. Let me just create a new folder here, code. And I will create a Git repository on my Mac, and I will share this in a link on GitHub. So go ahead and check out the resources down below to see the link. So you can take a look at the final code. Okay, so what you need to add in here, and I have already created these, are just some resources, and I will just drag and drop these two, like the profile and the user defaults plus, and we will talk about them when appropriate. So make sure that you copy items if needed, and let's just finish that. If you do want the profile and the user defaults to be accessed in the extension, then you will have to make sure that you check the targets too. I will show that in just a second. So let's just go ahead and create a brand new target here by clicking on this plus button, select iMessage extension, and I will name this extension, and let's just finish that and activate it, and basically that's it. Now, if you do want to share these, all you have to do is just select the extension right over here and right over here. So that's how you share files between your extensions. Awesome. Now, you may take a look at this, but it's just a simple profile and the user defaults extension for codable objects. Now, let's go into the view controller and just start typing away. Let's just talk a little bit about the basics of user defaults. Now, we just create a user defaults with a standard initializer, and that will be just user defaults dot standard. Now we are going to create one with a suite name in just a second, but this is the way that this is the standard way. It will just write all of your data in the standard way of the user defaults place. So let's just go ahead and type set, and as you can see here we have a lot: set any, set int, float, double, bool, URL. If you are a little bit interested in user defaults, then this is the first thing that you will learn. So you can set a value here, and let's say 12 here for a key of, this needs to be a string, so score. And basically that's it. This is how you save the user defaults. Now let's just get back that user defaults. Now, if you are here for user defaults, then you already know this is a persistence. So once we close the app and open it up again, this will be saved. So we can retrieve it later on. Okay, so by the way, this is not keychain. We'll create a new video on keychain soon, but this is going to be deleted. User defaults are going to be deleted once the user deletes the app. Okay, so let's just create a value here and let's retrieve our value from the user defaults. Again, user defaults dot standard. You could just create a let variable or a let value for our user defaults dot standard if you want to, but I'm just going to go like so. And integer for the key of score. Okay, score. Make sure that you type the keys correctly. Maybe you just create an enum for that or whatever. So let's just print our value out. Okay, value, and let's select not our extension, but our main app here, and let's run it on our simulator. So this will just basically print out the 12 value, but it will also store it in user defaults. Okay, so yeah, basically what we are going to do is just launch once, and let's just wait for that, and we should be able to see in the logs the 12 printed out. There it is. How awesome is that? Now, if we just build and run again, then again, and let's just uncomment this so we can see that, okay, no value has been set. So 12 is already printed in there because we already have a default value there. So you can set Boolean values, floats, doubles, integers, and so on. But what about codable objects like our models? And if we take a look at our profile file here, you can see that this has a name, age, and it is adhering to the codable protocol. Now, I have created a user defaults extension to accommodate that. I won't go into details here, but what you need to know is that we have this set object and get object function, and basically that's what we are doing. We are encoding it with the JSON encoder, and of course here decoding it. So that's basically it. Go ahead and take a look at the downloaded file. So let's go back to our view controller and try to create a new profile first. So let profile equals, let me just make some more space here. Profile, there it is, and name, Alex, and age, maybe 5. Okay, so now we want to set this object on user defaults. So let's just start typing in user defaults and set object, because that's what we want. We want to grab the standard, of course, and set object for key. This is the one, and as you can see, it says it is throwing, so we need to wrap this into a do try catch statement. So I would just add the object right over here and then add that do catch statement. So set object of profile for the key, and I will name the key profile because it's really how we can remember that. And as you can see, call throws. Yeah, call can throw, but it is not marked with try. Now the safe way to do this is just to create a do catch statement and just add this to the try. And I will remove the pattern because all I'm going to do is print out the error localized description if there is any. Okay, so now this is how we save it. And yeah, we could just run this, but yeah, whatever. Let's just retrieve it. This is what we really want. So again, we do that with user defaults, and let's just go user defaults.standard and get object. And again, it's going to throw, but let's just type out our key profile, and we are going to cast it to a profile.self. Okay, so this is the object, the codable object that we are going to cast it onto. And again, let's do our do catch statement, and just copy this out and paste it in there, and just remove that and just print out the localized description if there is any errors. There are any errors. Now, as you can see, we are not using, so returns a call, result of call is unused. So what I will do is just create a profile constant here and just print out our profile. So yeah, we do know that it has been saved. So let's build and run, and now besides the 12, we will see profile, Alex, and age 5. How awesome is that? And this is how you can easily set and get codable objects into user defaults. Now, next up is just sharing all of these user defaults with the help of app groups. Like, let's say you have an extension, and we already created our extension, that is an iMessage extension, so we want to share that. So we are going to use app groups for that. And let me just go under signing and capabilities, tap on the plus capability and select app groups. And as you can see, the app group has been added. Let's do that for the main target also. So app groups, and let's just wait for the repair. And what we are going to do is create a shared app group. Basically, this is where the user defaults will be written to. So let me just copy out the bundle identifier and click on this plus button and just append that to the group dot. Now let's just click OK here and waiting for repair. Now creating provisioning profile. As of my experience, I need to quit Xcode altogether, so this radish things goes away, and we can find the group in the extension. So let's do that. Let's just quit Xcode. Yes, let's just stop that task and then reopen it. Nice. So let's check it out. There it is, UserDefaults UIKit. And now let's just search that in the extensions app group. Here it is. So let's just check that, and let's wait for the signing certificate to be updated, not just repaired. And now we will be able to share user defaults throughout these two apps. But there is a little catch to it. We need to grab the bundle identifier, well, the app group name basically, but I will just copy this out. And let's go to view controller and start typing away. Now, let's just create let shared user defaults, because we want to create a new, with a suite name, a new type of user defaults, and that is user defaults, and choose the one with the suite name. And I will just add in here, like pasting my bundle identifier in there, and just add group dot to the beginning. So yeah, that's it. And this is optional. So let's just add an if let statement here. And if the shared user defaults exist, then let's just go ahead and shared user defaults set, let's set a Boolean value here, set true for the key, like cool. Like, are user defaults cool? Yes, they are. So let's just select our main app and let's build and run. Now, this will actually save on the app group's user defaults with the suite name of, that large string that I just added in there. And yeah, now it's time to fetch it on the other side on the extension. So let's go back to the extension. There we go. And in the messages view controller, in the view did load, now it's time to add the, let's say, the unwrapping of our shared user defaults. Again, this should be an optional, so we are going to go if let shared user defaults equals user defaults with the suite name, and I will just go back and copy the suite name out. Let me just do that. Let's go back and paste it in there. Okay, so if we do have that, let's see if our user defaults cool. So let is cool equals now shared user defaults and bool for our key and cool. That was the key. Now let's just print out is cool. Okay. Now all we have to do is select our extension and just run it. And now we should see that, yeah, user defaults is cool. So we should see that printed out. So let's just wait for that. And now it's loading. And there it is. True. How awesome is that? Now, that out of the way, this is everything, well, basically 99% of how you would use user defaults in UIKIT. So now it's time to take a look at SWIFTUI 2, because that's a whole lot lever and it's really, really awesome. So let's just stop this and close it, and let's create a brand new project. So Xcode, and create a new Xcode project. Really resize this. So let's select app again, and let's name this UserDefaults SwiftUI. Okay, this time we are going to select SwiftUI as the interface and SwiftUI app as the lifecycle. Let's click on next, and yeah, I'm just going to create a Git repository again, so you can take a look at the code later. Link in the description. Okay, so let's remove that and maybe remove the canvas. And well, I did create a helper here also, like with the CODABLE stuff. So what you have to do is just drag and drop this published file right over here. Okay, and let's just create a new target, because we are going to cover all of that. So iMessage extension, and this is what I'm going to call it, extension. Let's just finish there and activate it. Okay, now let's just create the app groups while we are here. So let's just go into our main app, signing in capabilities. Let's add app groups. And let's do the same for our extensions. So app groups. Okay, now let's go back and copy our bundle identifier. And let's just wait for the provisioning profile to be created. Let's tap on this plus button, and there it is. Hit OK. And yeah, this group should be ready. Let's just wait for the provisioning profile to be created, and now I will just close Xcode and then open it up so we get this app group in the extension. So there it is. Let's just quit Xcode altogether, and now let's open up our app again. And well, not the app, Xcode, but we are going to open our project up again. And yeah, group.com Rebeloper UserDefaults SwiftUI. So let's just find that right over here under the extension. So I just checked that, and let's just wait for the pair. So we are ready for sharing user defaults between the main app and the extension. Okay, but before we go into that, let's just talk a little bit about what we have under the content view. And I think I will remove the canvas here. We don't really need that. And how we are going to talk about user defaults? Well, we are going to talk about app storage, and that goes to scene storage, but I'm just going to cover app storage. The same goes, well, kind of the same goes for scene storage. Okay, so let's just create a user defaults, and that is called here app storage, which is a property wrapper on top of user defaults. So this is how we would go. So add app storage, there it is. And let's just add in here our key, and that will be, let's say, the score. And then we create this variable called score, and we give it an initial value, let's say 0. And yeah, this is basically what you have to do in order to just create a user defaults value. Now, I'm just going to tap on the hello world text. So on, tap, gesture, and 1 should be okay. So let's just add that. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and add 1 to the score value. And we are going to print out that score. Okay, now, just so you know, this score is basically going to be updated, and that is why I'm going to fetch it here. I'm going to fetch it from user defaults, not this one, but it might seem like that, but I'm going to fetch the newly saved value. And I'm going to prove it to you by just creating, well, just build and running, first of all, not Alex's iPhone, but on my simulator. And once I do add some points to that score, I'm going to just launch again, and you will see that the new score will be saved. Okay, mir test succeeded. That's always a good thing to see. And let's see, let's just tap on Hello World while it is going to be loaded. Okay, so there it is. As you can see, it's a 1. There it is. Let's tap a few more times. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is the latest one. Let's just build and run. And whenever we tap again, we should see 8 and not 1. So there it is, 8, 9, 10. How awesome is that? Okay, so that's just the basics. And you can add strings here, integers, Boolean values, and so on. That's app storage. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can well, let's go to sharing user defaults, and then we'll go to the CODABLE stuff. So next up, let's just create user defaults with the suite name. So at AppStorage, let's go AppStorage, and I will name this, let's just go over here with the key of cool. Yeah, we are going to use the same keys as with the UIKIT example, and here we are going to add a user defaults with the suite name, and this will be the string that we added to our app groups. So let's just copy that. The easiest way to do that is just go into the target and just grab your bundle identifier and just append there group dot and your bundle identifier. Really nice. Okay, so now that you have that set up, you want to create a variable is cool, and you want to set the default value, and that will be false. Maybe it is not cool. So what we are going to do whenever we tap here is just go ahead and select is cool and say toggle. Okay, so let's just print out is cool. Okay. Let's just test it out so we can see that we are toggling between true and false. Okay, let's just tap in here, true, false, true, false. So let's leave it to true because the default value was false. Okay, let's just go ahead and grab this value inside our extension. And as you can see, this extension is with UIKIT. So what we're going to do is just basically use the same code that we used on the other project. So let's just go UIKIT, and here it is. I'm just going to copy this out, and if you just skipped here, don't worry, I will explain. So there it is, and one thing I need to modify here is the actual suite name. Okay, there we go, and just paste it in there. Okay, so if you've been watching the UIKIT version here, you already know what we are doing here. But if you just skip here through the chapters, then all I'm doing here is just grabbing the shared user defaults with the suite name of the group, and I'm just printing out the is cool from the Boolean value with the key cool. So let's see if this persisted, because currently it's set to true. So let's go and select our extension, and let's just build and run. And now all we need to see is printed out true. Let's just wait for that. Yeah, extensions are kind of loading quite slow. Oh, not on my iPhone, but on my simulator. Let's build and run again. And after we just check this, because this is just a simple check, and let's just wait for this, and in just a second here, there it is, it's true. How awesome is that? So finally, we are going to talk about saving CODABLE objects in SWIFTUI, because it's kind of different than we did it in UIKIT. So for that, make sure to download the resources in the link below and just drag and drop the published plus file here is just some extra stuff that you can use later on in all of your projects. So let's go to content view. And what we are going to do is just create a content view model for this view. So we are going to create I know it will not be like just at app storage, so it won't be that simple, but it's a really good workaround. So what I'm going to create here is a new class, and the name will be content view model. And by the way, you should always use models with SwiftUI views, and this will be an observable object. There it is. And we are going to use @published. So @published, there it is. And now, with the help of this extension that I just added there, we are going to add a key here. So profile, and let's just create our default value var profile equals, and let's add in here a profile. Profile. I think I didn't add in the profile here, so let's just go ahead and add also the profile. There it is. Finish. Okay, so just the profile is just a codable object. Okay, so let's hit Command B, so we get auto completion. Let's go back to our content view and continue. So let's initialize our profile with the name of Alex and age, maybe 10. Okay, so let's hit Command B so we get rid of all of those errors. Now we have our content view model ready, so let's use it. Let's go ahead and in the content view, let's create a state object. Now, there's a big difference between state objects and observed object, but that's out of scope here. The state object is the first view that is owning this object. If you are passing it along, then you will just create them as an observed object. So at state object var model equals content view model. There it is. So we have our model. So let's just go ahead and add it here, and we are going to use the power of observed objects here. But yeah, let's just add in here our model dot profile dot name. So hello Alex, that should be printed out. And now it's time to change that model profile dot name. So model dot profile dot name equals, I don't know, Alexander. Okay, so yeah, first of all, we are going to have the Alex as the user defaults value. Oh, not here. I need to, yes. So we are going to have Alex as the user defaults name. And there it is. Hello, Alex. And now if I just change it, I just tap on this, it will be automatically changed to Alexander. There it is. And as you can see, we have also printed out some other stuff. Now, if I just build and run again, we should see hello, Alexander. And there it is. How awesome is that? User defaults in UIKIT and SwiftUI at its best. So that's how easy it is to use user defaults in UIKIT and SwiftUI. Now, if you had some trouble with it, go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring, where I can teach you even more. Now, if you did like this video, go ahead and check out the next one, in which I will talk about keychain. That's right. And while you wait for that, make sure to check out these videos as well too. I talk a lot about SwiftUI, Swift in general, UIKit, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.